Richelle, what the hell's going on?
What the hell is going on?
Sorry about sketching you out with my neighborhood, like right off the bat. You're like, what the fuck? Like,
Well, I won't disclose where you live, but I mean,
they know I live in Hollywood.
oh, okay, Holly weird. That's what it is.
My audience definitely knows I live in Hollywood. But enough people have talked about it. It's just like half the time people come here, they're like, "You live in a much nicer apartment than I was expecting based on the neighborhood."
Yeah. And now we drink. Oh, I don't even know if I can. Oh, can I do this?
Can you? If not, I can get it for you. Oh, you got it.
Oh, look at that. Ding. Oh, muzzle tough.
Let me pour. Can't toast you with an empty glass.
That's right. You definitely can't.
Bad luck.
Wow, you are. Good job.
I'm a professional.
Yes, you are. I see it.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's nice meeting you.
You as well.
Have you had these?
I have not.
Oh my gosh, they are so amazing. I am a tequila drinker, and a tequila seltzer high noon strawberry flavored. Oh my goodness. Nooners.
I was honestly freaking out because when I went to the store to buy them, it's like all the high noons were vodka, and then those were hidden back in the cooler.
Why would you hide the tequila ones? So the best ones.
They only had that one variety pack of tequila. Everything else was fucking vodka. I'm like,
interesting. Maybe everybody bought the tequila already. Who knows?
Very possible. I was just like, I promised her I was going to get the tequila. I have to get the tequila. I'm going to make a horrible first impression if I show up with vodka when she's expecting tequila. I really don't want to have to run to multiple liquor stores to make this happen.
Would you agree that, so I'm going to be turning 38 in oh my gosh, in a month. Wow, it's coming up soon. But when I was in my 20s, I felt that vodka was a stage. Like, you know, and now that I'm in my 30s, it's like, oh, tequila. And then once you get like 40s, 50s, it's whiskey, it's scotch. What do you think? What are your thoughts on
As someone in my 40s, I was in whiskey well before this.
Oh, okay. All right.
Years and years and years ago, I was a Jack and Coke guy. Like, I just didn't know any better. In my 20s, it's just like, yeah, Jack and Coke, that's the drink. And then at one point, I was not this fat. And I'm like, oh, I need to, move over to Whiskey Rocks to help fight this weight, which obviously I'm not doing a great job with at the moment. But
you're like, this is what I like.
Well, now it's just, this is what I do. Like, I have caught shit from friends, like, when we were abroad, we were in fucking Spain, and they're like, really, you're ordering bourbon in Spain? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? You like what you like, and cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for the audience, this came about just because of random internet shenanigans. So thank you for being here.
Oh, well, yes. I actually slid in your DMs. How about that?
I know. I was just like, oh, well, shit. Have to immediately respond.
Well, thank you for having me out. I'm glad it worked out while I was here.
Yeah, same. I'm glad my neighborhood did not scare you away.
No, not at all.
Because that has happened before. I've had guests be like, nope, we got to reschedule. Nope. But I would have, okay. It's not that bad, I swear.
I'm a proud Second Amendment gun owner.
What's your everyday carry?
Oh, I don't know. I will never openly say.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't. But I've got a nice little piece.
Nice.
I'll show you.
Awesome.
After.
When I lived in Vegas, my everyday carry was Smith & Wesson M&P 40C.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
I love it.
Nice little 10-rounder, yeah.
That's all you need is 2 rounds. When I was going through my CCW class, that's what they were saying. They're like, all you need is 2 rounds. I'm like, all right.
Did you do your CCW in Vegas, or?
Yeah. My guy that did it, he's literally ex-lieutenant of Vegas and private investigator and everything. And he was like, you're a young, beautiful woman living in the desert. He was like, you need to carry one. I was like, okay. So I just wanted to do the safety course and everything and start feeling comfortable. And yeah.
Well, and honestly, I feel like that is one of the biggest problems with gun ownership in America is that you're not required to do that shit.
Yeah.
Especially in places like Vegas where it's just like.
It's the wild, wild west. It's scary.
Right.
It's very scary, and I was seeing a lot of things and a lot of certain things happening in Vegas. And when one of my friends, the one that taught the CCW class, he was like, you really should get a gun. And I was like, really? And then I was like, okay. And now it's like, now I just tell people, I'm like, fuck around and find out. Fuck around and find out.
Yeah, and it's good that you feel comfortable with it. Like,
Yeah.
the one thing that like a lot of gun owners don't talk about is like if you are not actually prepared to use it, that thing is more of a detriment to you than it is.
Exactly. 100%.
Like,
100%. I love going out to the desert and like literally all of my friends will plan like a weekend and we'll just go out to the desert and get a bunch of clay pigeons and just like get coolers and just bring food and stuff like that and just pop off and it's a blast. I don't even know where you could do that here in LA.
you can't.
Yeah, you can't.
It's one of those things where like when I moved to California, I'm like I had to sell my AR.
Yeah.
I'm just like I'm not going through the hassle of modifying it for California legal. Like,
Right. Yeah, it's too much.
You know, I still have my handguns, but it's just like I can go to indoor ranges, and that's about. And I guess there is one big outdoor range up in like by Santa Clarita,
Uh-huh.
but that is about it. Like,
I hate going to indoor ranges because it's so loud. I went to one a few weeks ago in Vegas with a new gun that I purchased and I was just popping off a few rounds, but the guy next to me was shooting an AR and it was just why they put us all next to each other. I mean, there was 6 of us all right in bays next to each other and it was just so insanely loud. I had headphones, earplugs, everything and I was like, "Oh, I'm just going to go out to the desert and try out this new bad boy."
well, and it's one of those things like you really. Why are you using a rifle indoors? There's not going to be a range that's going to be long enough to make really use of that rifle.
Yeah.
And especially in Vegas, the Clark County Outdoor Park is beautiful.
Yeah.
And has more than enough room for actual rifle fire.
Yeah, like I don't know what he was doing there. I'm not gonna call out the name of the place, but I was like, come on now. Like
Well, it's probably
there's like 15 bays and you pack 6 of us together. Like
ugh. And it's
Yeah.
probably some fucking tourist who's never shot a gun before.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. Yep. It's like everybody wants to come to Vegas and do that.
And I'm happy for the ranges to make their money, for sure. But
Mhm.
it's just like you really should have a locals range and a tourist range.
Yeah, I agree. There's some spots that are a little more like local friendly. And actually the one I went to was one of them, but who knows? Maybe he just wanted to have a little fun afternoon, pop it off an AR.
Well, it's like what's the point? You're just throwing money downrange. You're not gonna
Yeah.
make use of the range of that AR in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
These are handgun ranges. Come on.
One of my first dates. So I have a thing. I love like younger men. And this guy, he was like 28. He was like, he was ex-military. He was like, "Do you want to go shooting?" And that was like our first date. And I was like, all right. So we were out in the desert. I was like firing off his Uzi and stuff. And then I just really got into it. I wasn't a gun owner at the time when him and I went on a date. And I just really got into it. And I was going to Bass Pro Shops. I was buying clay pigeons. I was like, let's go shooting. He was like, "You're more excited about this now than me."
Good on him.
But it was a good first date. Like it was kind of dangerous because what if he was like a weirdo? I'm out in the desert alone with like this 28-year-old with a bunch of guns.
Well, that's why you tell people where you're going.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, there's a few people that have my location. So I'm like, they know.
Right, it's like her location hasn't moved from the desert in a while.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
But I honestly am a big proponent of the shooting range first date. I've definitely done that multiple times where it's just like, oh, you've never held a gun before? Let me show you how much of a dude I am.
Yeah.
Let's go shoot some guns.
Hell yeah.
9 out of 10 times it's worked out really well. There was one where it's just like, she said she was cool. And then like when push came to shove, it was way out of her comfort zone. She was just like trembling hand, crying. I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't for you. Let's just go to dinner.
Yeah. We'll just go to dinner, ease in that way.
Yeah. And it's not for everybody. And like people just have to recognize that like they're just tools.
Yeah.
Like a circular saw isn't going to cut you unless you mishandle it.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like the shooting ranges are a little intimidating though. I mean, I'd rather just go out to the desert. That's what I love to do. That's like I know I have my little day job. I'm an adult film star. I feature dance. I do it all. But then the weekends, I like to think I'm pretty normal. I do yoga. I hang out with my dogs, and I go out to the desert and shoot guns.
That sounds like Vegas.
And lay out by the pool and drink in these.
That all sounds very typical Vegas.
Yes, exactly.
There's a lot of things I don't miss about Vegas, but like that part of Vegas I do miss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I miss like the 2 things I miss are 24-hour everything and having a lot more freedom with my guns.
Yeah, 100%. I love it. It's funny. I'm originally born and raised in upstate New York. And whenever I go back to like upstate New York or even the city, it's crazy because I'll go into a restaurant sometimes at like 9 o'clock at night. They're like, oh, we're not serving. And not that I'm a 24-hour woman by any means. I'm actually pretty boring, but I love living in a 24-hour city where I know if I need something or want something, or if I break one of my nails, that I can go to a 24-hour nail salon and I can get it fixed any time of the day. I can go tanning. There's gyms. There's everything. It's just great.
Oh yeah, I miss being like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. You know what? I'm gonna go grab a burger at Steiner's and
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I used to live right by Steiner's when I first moved to Vegas on that side of town.
yeah, that's where I was at too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was like right by Buffalo and Lake Mead was where I was at.
Oh, okay. Oh, there must be a couple
Yeah, there's
Steiners
the one on the
then.
one on South Vegas, and the other two are up in Summerlin.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I was South Vegas
Gotcha.
when I first moved to the city, yeah, so I always used to go to Steiner's. Yeah.
Good spot.
It 100% is. It's like, you can't I feel like whenever I'm on dance gigs and they're like, "How do you live in Vegas?" And I'm like, "How the hell do you live in Montana?" Like, not that there's anything wrong with Montana, but I'm like, "You can't knock my city. It is 24 hours. We have hookers, we have a legalized marijuana. You can get a five-star dinner and like anything you want any hour of the day." It's amazing.
It was like I have a love hate with it. I was there technically for 3 years, and like my love hate with it is like, yes, you have all those amazing things, but it's also I found it was a rough town to meet new people in.
Yeah, it's very tough. Very tough.
Like in my 3 years, I think I met a handful of people that weren't in the industry, and like I like to have a balance of some civilian friends, some and industry friends. You can't just be inundated with the industry 24/7.
Oh, yeah. I avoid the industry like the plague. Literally. Like, I don't really talk to, I work, I hit up like a few guys that I shoot with, like industry guys, and that's it. Like all of my friends are just kind of outside the industry, but I like it that way.
Well, and
I love that.
it's
Like, I don't want to talk about porn all the time. I love talking about sports and just everything else. And yeah, not porn.
well, the way I look at it is like if you were a dentist, would you want to talk about people's mouths all the fucking time?
No. You're like something else.
Cool. I know this is novel to you, but like, can we
Yeah.
talk about anything else?
One of my girlfriends, she's an esthetician in Vegas, and she has even crazier stories than me because she's on all the dating apps. And she's like, I thought I was the queen of like first dates, which I still like to think that I am because I do go on a lot of like first dates with guys. But this girl is just wild and crazy. I'm like, girl, your stories like out trump mine.
Besides the shooting range, what's like the wildest first date someone's brought you on in Vegas?
I had a guy bring me on a first date, but brought his mother along. Yes. And that was, I literally walked into the restaurant and I see him, but then I see this woman. And me, I was just kind of like, I was about to like turn around and leave because I was like, what is going on? But I was like, you know what? I went in, sat down, nice steakhouse, and he introduced me to his mother. And it was the most awkward, weird first date.
Like, how do you justify that?
I have no idea.
Did he just not even try to explain? He's just like, "Hi."
I think he was just like a sweet little Southern boy living in Vegas. And I don't know. I really don't know. But I went on a second date with him, just him and I. And it still wasn't, we weren't really vibing. It was just kind of hard because his mother was the third wheel. That was definitely the weirdest.
My mind's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
Because you can't really open up in a conversation because it's like talking to your mom and she's grilling me, interviewing me. Here's me and my huge tits. Like, I have no idea like what was his thought process behind that one.
so was he just sitting there while his mother fucking grilled you?
No, she wasn't like really like, deep down that mothers, whenever they meet, like, the woman that like their son or whatever is dating, that they're just kind of like one of those. And I was just like, oh God. Like, I know this woman is secretly judging. Like, she may be like, oh yeah, I like that too, or whatever, but she's secretly judging me. She's sizing me up and down. But
100%. Like, are you going to be able to take care of my special little boy when I'm gone?
oh my, no. He better hold his own.
Well, I feel like someone who's that attached to their mother, that's the relationship they have. Like,
I do kind of like mama's boys though, but not to that extent. Not to that extent where you're bringing her on a first date.
yeah, like I just I can't wrap my brain around that. Like,
I couldn't wrap my brain around it either.
good, good on
Yeah.
you for staying. Because if I was in that situation, but like I went on a first date with a woman and like her mother or her father or any family member was there, and it like wasn't prearranged. Like, this is a family gathering that we're meeting up at.
Yeah.
I would have been like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. This is weird.
Yeah. Oh, I've walked out on some. I had a guy one time ask me to split the bill with him. I had another guy that I was on a first date pay with a gift card, and I was like, "Oh God, like that is so tacky." like, okay, if we were dating and in a relationship, and you got a gift card wherever, like Cheesecake Factory for Christmas or your birthday, okay, let's burn out this $100 gift card or whatever it is. But on a date, I was like, "Ooh, no."
I mean, he is showing to you for your future that he is thrifty. That he is.
Yeah, I don't know if that's good.
Would you now? The question is, if he's going forward with the gift card, would you prefer that he try to slide the gift card in on the DL, like with his credit card, or
Well, that's kind of what he did, but then the waiter came back and was like, "Oh, and I was like, is the waiter like helping me out as like my wingman here? Because the waiter was like, "Oh, I applied this $100 gift card and the remaining balance is on your credit card." And that's how I knew. And I was like, "Oh God." But, I also went on a first date one time where the guy that I was going on the date with, he originally, his approach was he wanted to take me to go get ice cream. And at the time, I was 33, he was 23. And I was like, okay, that's kind of sweet, ice cream. But then I was like, I was like, there was this wine event that was going on at the Silverton Casino, and it was one that was benefiting the Nevada SPCA, and I was like, "Would you want to go to this wine event?" And I think it was maybe like $50 all you can drink per person, something like that.
it's a great deal?
That's what I said. And I'd rather go on kind of like a drinking date first. I mean, ice cream is cute, maybe for like a third, fourth date, something like that. But I ended up dating him for like 3.5 years after that. And he told me, he was like, "I had to borrow money from my mom to take you on that date."
Well, at least he was charming once you got there.
He really was. He really, truly was. And he definitely wasn't like a 23-year-old punk. Like, he had his shit together, because I wouldn't entertain like the fuck boy, like 23-year-old.
Nor should you.
Oh my God, no.
I mean, nobody.
I'm getting
should.
too old. My patience is getting really, really, really thin.
Well, hell, even at 23, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be putting up with that. Like, unless that is the pre-established rules of like, hey, we're just fucking and we're gonna go our separate ways. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care if you call me, but if it's like the intent is to actually date here,
Yeah.
100%, like you shouldn't put up with that at any fucking age.
Right. I agree. I agree.
But
I should write a book on like all of my like hundreds of first dates. That would probably be a really good book. You just gave me an idea.
101 first dates with right.
Yeah, literally. I should start keeping like a little journal of them.
If it wasn't a monetary issue, I understand like the coffee ice cream first date, because as a dude, you may want to be like, oh, I don't want this woman to feel like I'm just trying to get her drunk and take advantage of her.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do something that's like not involving alcohol. Like, I get the thought process there.
Yeah, it's sweet. It's so cute. But I was kind of like, maybe like a fourth date or something. Like, let's knock out, the whole like awkward. And sometimes I need a glass of wine because I get nervous.
You nervous with these dudes? I don't believe that.
I totally do. If they're really cute, I do.
Why do you get nervous? Or what do you?
I don't know. I think it's like every woman just loves just going on a date and just feeling like, I don't know, it's like that first date jitters. I just can't explain it. Yeah, I still get it.
I'm sure the audience is like, really?
Yeah.
I'm a little shocked. Like,
I think it's because we live in a generation now where everyone is on dating apps. Everyone is glued to their phone. I mean, there are times I was running around today. I was eating lunch after I got off set, or like late lunch, early dinner, whatever you want to call it. And I mean, people are walking and just faces just glued on their phones. Like, and stuff like that. And it's like now it's everybody's just on Tinder and Hinge and Bumble and all this stuff. And it's like I feel like chivalry and all that has gone out the window. So for a guy to really go out of his way and plan something sweet to take a woman on a date, it's like, oh, like you're putting forth effort. And I think that is so sexy.
Yeah, it should be. And that's
Yeah.
the problem with the apps is everyone has it in their head, and sometimes completely falsely, that, oh, I have other options, so I don't have to put in effort on this.
When my father met my mom, he was like shooting his shot right then and there because he knew, like, saw my mom. He was like, wow, she's beautiful, whatever. And it's like now it's like men will just be on Tinder and swiping, and they could pass up on an amazing, incredible woman, but they're like, oh, I'll just find another one. And that's just the generation that we're in now. And it's hard because I love the 20-year-olds and God bless me, but I do get a diamond in the rough every once in a while.
I can only imagine, just, as someone who just dated a couple 20-year-old chicks in his day, like,
Uh-huh.
it's brutal sometimes. Just like, can we have some sort of conversation that I'm
Not talking about TikToks.
right. And I'm a horrible phone addict. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a complete hypocrite there, but I can put it down on occasion.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I give myself timeouts away from my phone.
That's honestly what I love about this medium is it's like, how often do you get to have an actual conversation with someone where neither one of us are going to look at our phone for an extended period of time?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Sometimes I'll go out to dinner with my friends and we'll all put our phones in the middle of the table. And the first person that grabs their phone pays the bill. And I love that because I'm like, I'm good. I got my watch.
just cheating,
I just cheated. I got my watch. Somebody will text me. I don't have it on now, but
you're like, I got to go to the restroom real quick, checking your watch.
yeah, I know. Let me scroll through my messages. Like, let me scroll through.
It's crazy how, like, these companies have made us so addicted to this. They're like, we figured out the way that we're just going to trigger dopamine in your brain and give you
Yeah.
the reward system, so you just keep swiping. And
Yeah, and it's crazy is because, they want to talk, say, oh, porn is the devil and all this. And it's like these kids are on social media all day long, scrolling and scrolling, just looking for the next dopamine high. And suicide rates amongst teenagers is rising, and it's just insane. But you're mad because a guy hopped on my OnlyFans and watched one of my videos, jacked off, and went about his day. Ooh, like, and I'm the bad, and porn's the bad guy. Like, get the fuck out.
right?
It makes no sense.
Well, it's because it's easy.
It's just they can't control it, is what it is.
Well, they can't control it. It's easy to demonize.
Yeah.
Where multi-billion-dollar tech companies are a lot harder, especially when they're using it. They can claim that they're not on the hub, that they're not using OnlyFans, even though.
Oh, all those perverts are. They're the worst ones. All the religious ones. They're all whacking off on the hub.
Well, the red states are the number one traffic sources
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
But it's just the hypocrisy of it, where you can't lie and be like, I'm not on Facebook, I'm not on Instagram.
Yeah. Did you watch that Pornhub
I
documentary?
did.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's just like they'll point the finger at Pornhub, but then Facebook had how many search groups or pages, whatever. I don't have Facebook, but where there was just so many just horrible things being posted, and it's like, but they want to point the finger at porn all the time.
Facebook is legitimately responsible in other parts of the world for like
Child trafficking and
fucking like ethnic genocides and shit like that.
yeah.
It's like there's a whole article I read recently about I want to say their content moderators in Kenya
Mm.
are suing Facebook and trying to unionize because of the secondhand trauma they're receiving from having to do the content moderation on the stuff posted there.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone who, well, actually, I take that back. Probably the people that are moderating Pornhub have some trauma from.
Oh, I'm sure. But in that documentary, they were talking about like they were literally just like scanning and skipping through because they had to watch 800 videos in a day.
Right. And
Like
that's
800 videos in a day? No, that's insane.
Yeah, it's like, mine, you need to spend some more money on this.
For sure. 100%. It's crazy.
It's like, yeah, you're just giving the other side ammunition to come after us if we're not policing ourselves right. That's why our testing standards have gotten more and more stringent. It's so people don't have to enforce laws on us.
Right. Yep.
But, MindGeek is the leader. And full disclosure, for people that don't know, MindGeek occasionally employs me. So,
Oh, I like that.
like, I work as a PA on MindGeek sets occasionally. So, like, full disclosure out there.
I love that.
But you need to be critical of, like, we can't just be like, it's all roses on this side of the fucking aisle.
Yeah.
There's definitely things that we can continue to fix. Like, it's good that we went from, well, it's a mixed bag that we went from 28-day testing all the way down to 2 weeks.
Right.
Like, I was talking about this with someone else recently where it's like, yes, having more stringent testing is good for the industry.
Yeah.
Having it be prohibitively expensive, especially for non-top tier performers, is bad. If you're going to shoot once in those 2 weeks and your boy girl rate's $1,000 and your gold standard test is almost a third of that, that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. There's that new place that just came out, and I heard they do $400 a month for unlimited testing. But I question, I mean, I trust the places that, the main places where we go and test. I trust them and their testing standards. I don't know about this new place. I'm still feeling it out.
Well, and that's what's going to have to happen. It's going to be a lot of trial and effort. Like, because you got to question when someone comes into the marketplace, like, so why are you choosing to be in our industry?
Yeah, $400 for unlimited. I'm like, like I paid $215 for one test. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, but by that standard, if you're getting tested every 14 days, it's a $30 savings.
Yeah.
And it's not a good deal if, you're obviously shooting enough where that's justified. But once again, if you're the performer who's only getting booked on a scene once, twice a month,
Yeah.
that $400 is not a net savings.
Sometimes, like, the agents will cover, like, if it's a brand new girl or something, they'll cover their test or, or just go shoot content. Like, I was talking to this one young guy in the industry the other day, and he was saying when he first got in, it takes a little bit. These guys, they got to do blowbangs and gangbangs to prove that, hey, I can be hard around 20 different dicks. And that way they can start getting work with like the MILFs and stuff where they ultimately want to be. At least I think they do. Or just banging chicks one-on-one. But and he was saying, he was like, I would go get tested. And I was like, just go jerk off at home. It'll pay your rent. Like, if you're only getting one scene on that test and you spend $215, just go home and just jack off. Put it on OnlyFans. It'll pay your rent.
Right? And especially if, like, you're only doing a bukkake, which has, like, no good rate. Like, I don't.
Yeah, you get like $100.
Yeah.
It doesn't even cover the test.
I know back in the day, like, some male talent friends of mine were like, oh, you should come do a bukkake. I'm like, bro, I have no interest.
Yeah. Whenever guys, it was funny. A couple weeks ago, I was at the Golden Knights game when we were in the playoffs, and this group of like these hot like 20-year-olds like came like running up to me and stuff. And anyhow, we were chatting, and one guy was like, I really want to get into porn, and he was like, can you help me? And I was like, you go back to your hotel room, you get your dick hard in front of all your friends, jerk off and nut. If you can do that in front of all 8 of your friends, call me. And none of these guys can.
Well, and can you do it with someone who looks like me standing over you, sweating on you while holding a camera or a boom?
Telling you, hey, I'm ready for you to nut right now. Like
tapping you on the shoulder like, yeah, we're ready for the pop.
Yep, ready for the pop. Let's go. Let's go. But I like trying out the new guys in porn because I like doing it for my OnlyFans because I kind of like getting in their heads and scaring them a little bit. I don't know why it like turns me on. I love it. I love seeing the fear in their eyes. I just had one the other day, like brand new. And I love this generation that's coming into porn right now because they're like, oh, I was a fan. I was watching you. And then sometimes I'm like, damn, I have been around a really long time. Like next month is going to be 17 years.
And bravo for that. Bravo. Because like
that's
what a lot of people don't seem to realize is like the average is still like 6 months for people's careers.
Really?
6
You
months to a
think
year.
so?
Oh, yeah.
6 months?
Yeah.
Wow. I wouldn't guess that now because of OnlyFans.
Okay. I guess, well, I don't know. Because it's one of those things where like, I feel like the people that only make it 6 months don't have the inclination to be their own production house to do OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So it may be up, but it's still well under 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, when I got in 10 plus years, almost everyone I worked with back at the point it's gone. They're long fucking gone.
Yeah.
And it's, married or moved on to something else, moved on to music. There's 100 other reasons they left the industry. But there are some people that like I've met in that time that like were literally flash in the pan 6 months, like felt like this was going to be easy money, and then went, oh shit, this is actually fucking work.
Yeah, it is work. That's for sure. I feel like I wear 4 different hats, but I absolutely love it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love it.
Well, and you've been around long enough where you could actually speak to this. Like, how how have you seen the industry change in your time? Like,
Oh my gosh. I mean, when I got in, we had MySpace and that was it. And we were literally working our tails off for the companies and making them billions. I mean, we were just getting a flat rate for a boy girl, a girl girl. I mean, we were on set all day long, and that was it. There was no OnlyFans. There was no doing promo on Instagram. There was no mini vids. There was no none of that. And now it's I feel like fans are also realizing that performers that we can put out just as amazing, if not better, content than some of these companies, and they can be direct with us. And I love it. I love seeing the industry shift more in control of the performers' hands
well, and that's
because we were making these companies too rich and we were getting literally peanuts. I mean, back in the day, and I didn't even like when I got into porn in 2006, I didn't know nothing going into it about how much women were getting paid. I just wanted to be a rock star with no guitar. I wanted to have sex with hot men. And that was it. I wanted to get all glammed up and have sex with like Eric Everhard. That was all I wanted. Like when I was literally 20, well, did my first scene on my 21st birthday, but I was like, when I got to LA, I was like, where's Everhard? Like I was on the hunt for him. I was like, where is he? I love him. Like, and then I finally got to shoot with him. But yeah, that was all I wanted. But I didn't like back in the day, not way before my time, women were getting like $10,000-$15,000 per scene. Now it's like $1,000 and you have your testing, your wardrobe, you have to pay taxes on that. You're making peanuts.
yeah, it's way down there. The days of the vivid contract stars is
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
Because I got in 2010, so like the very tail end of like DP still had contract stars, Wicked still had contract stars, Vivid still had their big fucking billboard off the 101. Like,
Yep.
so like I got in like right as the transition, like the hub existed, it was the fucking enemy at that point.
Yes. Yes. Ugh.
And like I talk about it all the time, but it's like it's refreshing to have someone else who's been around who can actually firsthand fucking speak on that shit.
Yeah, I totally remember that. Those were the days, but I really do love seeing the shift. It's just so much more in control for the performers, and I feel like it's built little entrepreneurs amongst even some of the new talent that's come in. And I feel like it's teaching them a lot of lessons because back when first got in, I eventually got my own website in about 2008, but it was kind of like your agent did everything. He controlled every aspect of your life. That you got your call sheet when you had to show up. They would send drivers. If you couldn't afford an apartment or didn't have a place to live, they would put you in a model house where you would pay X amount of dollars per week or per day, whatever they worked out. I never lived in a model house. Absolutely no way. But it was kind of like they babied you along the way. And now I feel like a lot of these performers are coming in, they're having to be little entrepreneurs. It's okay, well, I have to shoot a scene. I also have to shoot content for my OnlyFans, for many vids, for everything else, and do the conventions and do certain things to just grow my brand. And I think it's great.
It's absolutely great. And the technology's made it better because when you got in, when I got in,
Oh, I think I had one of those T-Mobile sidekicks. Oh, and I had a BlackBerry too.
right, and like you couldn't shoot commercially viable content on that shit.
No, God, no. You weren't doing, couldn't even like take a selfie, like none of that.
Yeah, your selfie would be all blocks and it's just
Yeah. It was funny too. I was getting my makeup done the other day for set, and I was talking with one of the makeup artists, and she's fantastic. She's been in the industry for a while, but I was saying when I first got in 2006, it was like women weren't as I don't know if I don't want to say bougie, but that's all I can I guess you could say like just being like makeup snobs. There was no like, oh, I have to have this makeup artist, and you know what I mean? It was just kind of like quick slap boom bang. And I think it's just because social media just wasn't there. There was no Twitter, there was no Instagram. Now it's the cool thing to get, the bomb, makeup by Marine, awesome makeup artist, and posting her on your Instagram, it's like that's the cool thing now versus back in the day, it was like, whatever.
Like you show up to do your job, you're like, okay, this is my makeup artist today. Cool. Like,
Yeah, they didn't care. So
uh,
she do a quick slap job, you're like, whatever.
right? Do I look hot? Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, things are so different back in the day.
Well, and that's what I talk to people about all the time is just like, yeah, back in the day, you were reliant on studio work. Like,
Yeah.
and it made for kind of a toxic environment in some respects, but it's just like, I know some of the performers I worked with when I first got in were just like, they felt like they were walking on eggshells at times just because they're like, one misstep, I may not get booked.
Yeah, you had to like almost kind of kiss ass to the producers and to the directors and go on go-sees and stuff like that. And I used to bake, and I still kind of do. I show up on set and I bake cookies for everyone because I feel like cookies just puts everybody in the mood. Like I would make like chocolate chip M&M cookies and I'd bring them to set and stuff, and people remember that. And I would always, and I still do that when I go on dance gigs. I don't bake cookies, but I bring the girls candy because at the end of the day, I'm coming into their home and I want people to remember me and be like, oh, she's nice. Remember that girl, the one that baked cookies? And, I would always do stuff like that. But when I got into the business, I wanted to have sex with all the hot guys. I was just like a horny little 20-year-old. And, but I also wanted to build a name because I wanted to feature dance. And that was kind of how I first started to get like obsessed with the porn industry is I grew up in Richmond, Virginia. I like to say that's where I grew up because my mom got a job transfer when I was in high school. So I finished high school, I did some college and started stripping at a club there. And the club that I worked at had porn stars that would come in and feature dance. And I would see these women and I was like, I want to be that someday. And back in the day, you had to have at least 80 box covers in order to start feature dancing because you can't just put Richelle Ryan on a banner and, people are like, who the hell is that? Like, I'm not going to come out to the club to see her. But if you're on 80 box covers and these guys are going into bookstores and they're like, oh, I know that girl. Like, she was on the cover of this movie. I'm going to go see her. So that was my whole thing for like building my name was I wanted to feature dance. And I still do it after all these years.
I used to roadie for people on their feature gigs. So like,
Oh, okay.
I believe I'm still technically a Lead Network approved roadie, but
Oh, I love it. I love it.
so it's like I've definitely done that scene, and like the feature scene's even changed a bit. Like I see,
Oh, it's so different now. Back in the day, you had to, like, the agents would ask, what kind of costumes do you have? Because if you're showing up in a stripper outfit on stage, they were like, no. Like, you had to have the nice Jackie costumes, the sequin ones. They were like $3,000 to get made. Like, you had to have, like, really nice, super costumes because the point of feature dancing as a porn star is you have to set yourself different from the house girls. And you want to show the house girls, like, hey, this is what you should be looking like, acting like, how you should be talking to the customers and in the club, and we're setting the example. And yeah, you got to have very nice costumes.
oh yeah, for anyone,
But it has changed a lot though now.
it definitely has. But if you ever want to see crazy costumes for the audience out there, see EDI. Like see the EDI could
Oh yeah.
when the top of the features are like competing, like those are some crazy performances.
Yeah, they're incredible. Those women, they're phenomenal. They're mainly what they're called like the showgirls in the industry because the porn girls were just putting asses in the seats. They put us on flyers and billboards and they know that fans will come out. But the showgirls, when you're like, hey, we got Miss, Big Boobs Cindy or whatever, it's like she could put on a show or she's like a freak show or something. And, they like that.
They do. They absolutely do. And
I love feature dancing. I still love it. But the hardest part now is to travel.
oh, I can imagine, like, especially in the post-COVID world, this is like,
Oh
kinda
yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, it's awful. But I still love it though. I actually make I have a little rotating roster of like 20-year-olds. And depending on the city where I'm at and if they can travel, I'm like, oh, well, do you want to go with me? I'm going to San Diego this weekend. We could go to the beach. We can have fun. Like, you could come to the club with me and stuff. And I make them come and like roadie with me.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. They love it.
I almost want to ask, but I don't want you to give it away. But it's like in the back of my head, I'm like, are you keeping the roadie fees that they're just coming?
The what?
Well, because I know, like, often the clubs will pay a roadie fee. It's like,
Oh, no, clubs don't. I wish they would. They
oh,
just pay for their flight now.
oh.
Yeah, they will pay for a separate hotel room, but they're on my roster. They're staying in my hotel room with me. We're
When I was
gonna make OnlyFans content, like, after the club, and it's gonna be fun.
see, back when I was actively doing it, a lot of the clubs had a roadie fee, would pay for my flight. No separate room. I was just sleeping on the fucking couch in the room.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
It's fine. I'm like, I didn't care.
Guys don't care. Guys are like, give me a couch and a shower and I'm good. I love how simple men are. I love simple guys. I love it.
I mean, we all are to a degree. We're all
To a degree.
we're all pretty fucking simple. Like, it's what makes the world go round. It's like every dude has been like thought with their boner and just done something stupid in their life.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't care if what you're attracted to. You have definitely done something in your life in service of your boner and your boner alone that you consciously knew was stupid.
Yep, exactly. God bless him, though. God bless him.
That's how human society has gotten to where it is at the moment. If it wasn't for men doing stupid shit in the name of their boners, we would not be where we are as a society.
Yes. Agreed.
Do you think like back in medieval times, motherfuckers weren't just conquering shit to be like, look at my big dick. Like, I conquered
that
those
big
lands.
dick energy. God bless it. I love it.
It's like, yeah, that's right. I conquered all these people and made them my bitches. Big dick.
Big dick energy. I can pick up on that when a guy has big dick energy. I'm like, he's got big dick energy. I can smell it.
Are those the first dates you get a little nervous on when you're like, oh, he's...
Not really, because I joke around and I'm like, I got big dick energy. I'm gonna have you calling me daddy by the end of this date. I got it too. I mean, but sometimes you can kind of tell if a male has a certain presence about him, and as much as like I have a big mouth and I'm very kind of type A and just wired that way, I love feeling submissive with the right guy. It's just picking up on that energy.
Hey, it makes perfect sense. Like, on the type A front, like, the amount of people that are like crazy type A that are like, oh, super submissive when it comes to dungeons and shit like that.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm in control of every other aspect of my life. I need.
Yeah. And I was actually talking about that recently, that there are men where they're CEOs of company and they're having to manage employees and have so much responsibilities that at the end of the day, they want a woman that's going to fuck him in the ass with a strap on or stick butt plugs in him and, do stuff like that. It's a role reversal, I guess. And God bless him if you're into it. I mean, I'm not kink shaming. Do your thing.
Yeah, do your thing. I'm not into that.
Yeah, I'm not. I really don't want to be the one doing that. Like, that's never turned me on. I get no pleasure sticking a butt plug in your ass or fucking you in the ass. Like, because at that point, I'm like, no.
And like, once again, not here to kink shame, but like, yeah, anything goes near my asshole, I just like clench it.
Yeah, good.
Finger, nope.
Nothing's going there.
Like, I got digestive problems. Like, this will end poorly for everyone involved. Like, we do not, we'll just, no. Thankfully, most people like realized it immediately. Like, oh, he's not down with this. That is correct.
Very correct.
Very, very correct. Like, nah. I'm like, as I said, not here to kink shame people that are into it, but like, I also have like no control over my life, so I don't really want to give up that little bit of control I do have.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, the idea of like a partner tying me up is just like, I don't.
Yeah, I never got into that either. I'm like, then are you gonna like leave me hanging around or tied to the bedpost?
Are you gonna like go through my phone or something?
I want to be able to like move around too.
Right? Like, I want to be a full participant in this.
Exactly. I don't want to just be bound and have you do whatever. No.
And once again, not here to kink shame, but like dudes that are in like, oh, I want my partner all like bound and tied. Like, don't you want her to?
Yeah. Don't you want her like running around, hopping all over your face? Like, come on now. Right? I think it's a control thing for men that are into that.
I'm sure it is. It's like many other kinks. It's just one of those things I don't wrap my brain around. It's it's not what I find attractive. It's not what I'm into. I'm not here to kink shame them, but it's just like, no. Like, if I hook up with someone and they're kind of a dead fish, it's a turnoff.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that either. Ugh. Yeah. I always get, like, the eager little, like, 20-year-olds, so I haven't had a dead fish yet. Thank God.
Some dude who's like gonna fall on JFK, like, my back, please do all the work.
I don't mind doing all the work.
I think it should be a mutual thing. Both parties should be.
Agreed. Yes. Agreed.
No,
Am I talking too loud?
not at all.
Do I have like a naughty phone sex voice?
Maybe a little, but I think that's appealing to the audience.
Oh, okay.
I think they'll be into it.
Okay, good.
As long as you don't try to do the ASMR, because that's just this fucking post work for me.
Oh, really? I listen to some of those on like TikTok. Like, I'll just be like scrolling through, like when I can't sleep or something. And there's this one girl, she eats like these jelly gummies and she's like right in the mic doing it. And I'm like, and they're weird looking too. Like, they're just these funky, weird jelly gummies. And yeah, she just goes to town on them.
And I'm not knocking that. I'm just, and if people are into it, that's cool. Like, I understand, like, people just playing with the mic. But in this situation, means I got to try to boost your signal so people can hear you.
You're like, I got to make sure my audience can hear you.
Right? So they're just like, what is she saying? What is happening right now? And then when you boost you too much, little inside baseball, then I have to worry about me bleeding onto your mic because I'm not quiet.
Yeah. Where are you from?
Chicago originally.
Ah, okay. I like it.
Yeah.
Chicago sports fan all around, across the board, all the teams?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
Like, sports-wise, I'm actually just an MMA guy.
Okay.
Like, when I lived in Chicago, would go to Sox games.
Yeah.
Not so much to support the Sox, but just like day drink and eat food.
Hell yeah.
Like, I will never watch a baseball game on television.
It's so boring.
But I will. Like, you're like, you want to go to Dodger Stadium right now? I'm like, yeah, well, I will happily eat hot dogs and fucking drink and,
Yes. Did you see that thing on Netflix about, oh my gosh. Now I'm trying to blank on the fucking name. It's this documentary about this guy where he got pinged for like the murder of this woman. And he was like, I was at a Dodgers game with my daughter, and that show, Curb Your Enthusiasm, they were filming there, and his attorney was scrolling through all these tapes and found him. I forgot the name of it. It's on Netflix. It's so good.
Yeah, I didn't see the Netflix part, but I did see an article about it. Like,
oh, it is so good. Like, you have to watch it. That, what else did I watch recently? Killer Sally. That's a really good one.
So you're just into all the murder docs?
Yes, I love it. Like, I love documentaries that are just, I love they just suck me in.
Did you see Evil Genius, the one about like the pizza delivery driver that had the bomb around his neck in Pennsylvania?
Oh God, no. I don't like watching stuff like that because it freaks me out. I'm already like overly paranoid.
Well, that one's really weird and disturbing, and it's like just a crazy like.
The Jeffrey Dahmer was disturbing. Like, all that shit is.
Yeah, Dahmer's really disturbing. Like,
ugh. That one was like, holy shit. Like, I couldn't believe that one. And I couldn't believe it took that long for him to get caught. Like, that was the crazy part. But back in the day, there wasn't technology. There wasn't really, like there is now. Everybody has Ring doorbells and cameras and iPhones.
He was also preying on marginalized communities that, the Milwaukee police just didn't give a fuck about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that is one of the things, like, there's a lot of wrong with American society these days. At least, like, marginalized communities are getting a little more, like, people giving a fuck about and just not turning a blind eye to shit. I mean, It's definitely not fixed. It's far from it, but it's an improvement over even the 90s. And it's crazy. Like, I'm only a little bit older than you, and it's just like, it's crazy to think like we are at a point where 2000 now is closer to like 2000 is 23 years ago. Like in the mid 90s, we're at the same distance that like the 70s were.
Yeah.
From the 90s. It's just like, why the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, it's crazy.
God damn. The fuck happened? And we have a lot of ways to go still for American society.
I agree. I'm trying to like eventually one day buy a house and live in Mexico so I can just sit on a beach, drink these, eat tacos, and get the hell out of here. Still keep my house in Vegas, maybe live in Vegas like half the year, spend the rest of the time in Mexico. I'll be good with that.
We're in Mexico.
Probably a little south of Puerto Vallarta. I know the cartel there, so I know I'm safe. I know some cartel members. I know I'm safe there. And there's lots of Canadians that go to Puerto Vallarta that live there, and I love Canadians. Canadians are just some of my favorite people on earth. Love Canadians. Shout out to all the Canadian listeners. Richelle Ryan loves you.
Right? Request at your clubs.
Yeah. Oh, so it's very, very, very hard to feature dance in Canada because you have to get a work visa, and just crossing the border in Canada is so ungodly, insanely strict, especially for Americans going in there. And then I was just kind of like, there was one club in Montreal that was trying to get me, and I would have to go through the whole process to get a work visa, everything. And I was like, okay, fine with me. I don't have any felonies. I know I'll easily get a work visa. But then they were like, we can't start promoting you to feature dance until you cross the border. So I was like, even if I came in 2-3 days early, which doesn't happen on dance gigs, that's giving 2-3 days for me to pump like social media and everything for my fans to come out. Like, that just doesn't give it enough time, versus I have clubs that I'm going to be feature dancing at that have been promoting like months in advance.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
At that point, they'd be like, you need to up my guarantee a lot.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of money. But for me, like when I feature dance, like, yes, it's great money, but like I want to meet all of my fans in that area. Like, I want fans coming from all over. I want to see all of them. I love meeting the fans on dance gigs.
Well, I hope that you can get to Montreal at some point, because there's supposed to be amazing clubs up there.
Yeah. Oh, I'll go. Maybe like it's just a customer or something one day.
Like, I'm here. Can I slip on stage for half a second?
Yeah. Can I just get up here, shake it for some loonies and toonies? They're like little quarters, but it's like they're $1 and $2 bills, I guess. I would just spend it all in ketchup chips, Canadian maple syrup, Smarties. Any Canadian fans out there, I will give you my P.O. box. Please send it to me. Please send me all the yummy Canadian treats.
Right? Like, I don't get why we don't have all dressed up chips or Canadian or ketchup.
We have all dressed.
We do now?
But you know what I found at Circle K? They have tangy ketchup Doritos. And I was like, well, I'm not really a Doritos girl. I want like Lay's potato chips with like ketchup dust. Or they're called, the ones up in Canada are Old Dutch. And then they also have Hawkins cheesies, which are so good. So good. Yeah, any Canadian fans, send it to me. I'll give you free porn.
Porn for ketchup chips.
Porn for ketchup chips and cheesies. We'll work a trade.
See, Canada, believe it or not, is one of the few places I haven't been to. Like,
Really?
yeah, it's like I've been on 6 continents, never been to Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm from like Southern Canada is what I tell people. I'm from like way far upstate New York. So we would cross in and go to like Niagara Falls and stuff as kids. And I had my grandma's sister lived in Ottawa. So I guess it wasn't too far from Niagara Falls.
Do you have any family up there right now, or
Oh, yeah. Everybody's in upstate New York. Not everybody, but.
how are they dealing with the fire?
Oh, I know. I did check on everyone today. I texted my dad, my uncles, my aunts, and stuff like that. And they said that, like, I guess, well, obviously Canada is really bad, but like in New York, I don't know, whatever you call it, like the index or something, it was like 550, which means like the air quality is horrible. Like, stay in your fucking houses, like really fucking bad.
I got a bunch of friends in NYC who have just been posting pictures all day.
I was seeing that too, because I have a lot of friends in NYC and they were posting like the yellow orange sky. But like, imagine upstate New York, like going 8 hours up north. It's bad up there. Like the index, whatever you want to call it, in like New York City was around 150. It was 550 in upstate New York, where my family is. I was like, Jesus God, y'all better stay in the house and buckle down.
It's like, do any of y'all need to use my spare room in Vegas?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not offering that up. No. No,
Sorry,
I'm
didn't mean to put
good.
that out there for you.
I'm good.
Sorry,
I'm
my
good.
bad.
I don't like company like that. God bless them, I do, but yeah, not like that.
I love you. You can get lung cancer. You can't visit me in Vegas.
Yep, can't visit me in Vegas. Only when I know, when I can plan this shit out.
Like, We'll get you a room at the D. How about that?
Yeah, something like that. You can stay at the Aria, and I'll come visit.
Oh, wow, you're putting them up nice. I was just thinking somewhere on Fremont.
On Fremont. When my parents come, they love Fremont Street. Love Fremont Street. And I think it's just because my parents are at that age where it's like they just want to like drink draft beer and like walk on Fremont and look at all the weirdos. I'm like, all right, if this is what you want to do.
See, I honestly like when I live there and like even when I visit now, I much prefer Fremont to the Strip.
Really?
Oh yeah, like I also have been going to Vegas long enough where like I remember sketchy Fremont. And
yeah, I remember sketchy Fremont too. It's still sketchy a little bit.
It's still a little sketchy, but it ain't like I think the first time I was there was in 2004, and it's like 2004 Fremont was sketchy.
Oh yeah. It's crazy. I love it now that the Golden Knights are in the Stanley Cup Finals because everything is all gold and like Vegas goes so hard for the Vegas Golden Knights. Like not really the Raiders, but for our Vegas Golden Knights, we go fucking hard for them.
Because that's like an actual homegrown team.
Yeah, born and raised here. Yep.
It's not like everyone knows like the Raiders is a fling.
Yeah.
In 10 years, the Raiders are probably going to be gone again.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, they've done this before. It's like picking up someone's like cheating boyfriend and making it your boyfriend.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, I know you've cheated on a bunch of people. I know you were down in LA for a while. And then you're like, oh, I'm going back to Oakland. Like, you keep going back.
See you later.
We can't trust that you're going to stay. You're not married to us. We can't trust that you're here for the long haul. We built you this nice house. We understand.
Oh, and this stadium is such a monster.
Oh, I know.
Oh my goodness. It is beautiful. The nicest stadium in the league. 100%. Yeah. I can't wait for my Giants to play there this season. I can't wait.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. I'm like, it's just one of those things where it's like, I know how bad like traffic gets in Vegas when like there's any sort of event.
Not too. LA is the worst. Oh my God. You guys have the worst drivers in. Actually, no, Florida does. But LA, whoo. Oh my God. I hate coming here.
Well, like Southern Florida has horrible drivers and they have no excuse because Miami has good roads.
Yeah, it's just South Florida, I feel like, is a lot of snowbirds. A lot of people that came here from Cuba and wherever else, they've never driven a car in the States. And then I also feel like Florida glorifies those crazy drivers. They have all those Instagrams and even the news out there would show the Only in Dade and they would show like these crazy drivers doing all sorts of shit and they glorify it. And people see that and they're like, oh, well, I want to outdo this and outdo this. And I remember I lived in South Florida briefly. And I remember one day I was close to my house and I lived right in like downtown Fort Lauderdale in like a really nice little area there. And these spring breakers were in like this Jeep and man, it was like a cunt hair. They were so close to hitting my car. And I swear to you, we got up to the red light and I was getting out the car. I was like, oh, these bitches are going to catch it. Like I was ready to go after them. And this was before I owned a gun. This is how crazy I was.
Well, that's very South Florida of you.
Very South Florida because I was literally like car and park and I was like, and I was going up to their car and I don't know what the hell I was going to do, but like I was that angry. I was like seeing red and then they saw me like coming and they like hauled ass and took like this sharp right turn. And yeah, but I've calmed my ways. I'm not that crazy anymore.
Aw.
Yeah. I'm not that crazy. I mean, I still got that dog in me. I will if I need to. Yeah.
I was stuck in Hialeah for 6 months at one point. So like,
oh Lord.
Yeah, like
Bang Bros shoots there all the time.
Yeah, it's fucking South Florida. Like it's just like, oh hey, there's an accident on the Dolphin. There's an accident on the Dolphin. There's just every fucking day.
Yeah, that's always how it is. Yeah, I've never been scared for my life driving, but in South Florida, I was whenever I got on the freeway. Certain parts of the freeway, I was scared. There's just so many crazy drivers. LA, it's just like there's a lot of people going in the same direction.
And there's always some moron who's doing 20 miles an hour under the speed limit who's everyone gets stuck behind.
Something, or like there'll be like a sprinkle and people will start panicking and braking and, you know, it's just like, Jesus Christ. Like, yeah, I don't get it.
And this whole fucking city wasn't planned in any way, shape, or form. So the roads are just make no goddamn sense. It's not like you could...
Vegas makes total sense. Everything is basically on a grid. North, south, east, west. Boom, bang. It's not hard to figure out Vegas.
Yeah, it's
Everything runs parallel.
unless you're stuck on the strip, which is generally the fault of California drivers anyways when it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy. Like when I was living in Summerlin, it's just like, oh, my day job at the time when I first moved to Vegas was over at like Charleston and like the 95, like clear across town.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But I could be at work in like 15 minutes.
Literally, that's the best part about Vegas is even during rush hour, you can get from Fremont to Sky Canyon in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, it's great. I love it. Yeah, I love Vegas.
It's one of those things where like, if it wasn't the other things that I disliked about it, I would consider, and I almost moved back there in 21 for a gig. So,
Yeah.
but
You let me know when you come out there and do your show. We'll do part 2.
oh, definitely. It's just one of those things where like, what I like about LA is, for the most part, what really sells me on paying through the fucking nose like I do to live here is the entertainment options are second to none, like to consume.
Oh, same with Vegas.
So I've realized, like, going between the both, Vegas is America's wax museum.
Okay.
All the entertainment there is distilled and perfect.
Yeah.
It's not raw. It's not people trying out new stuff. It's people bringing their very established act, their very polished act to Vegas.
Yeah.
LA is a lot of people fucking trying shit, raw shit.
Oh, yeah, I get that. Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like if you go to someone's residency in Vegas, yes, you will be entertained, but it will be the same perfect residency night after night after night.
Yes.
Where it's like, oh, if I see someone at the Whiskey for 2 different shows, they may be very different shows.
Yeah, I get that. I used to go to a lot of comedy shows when I lived here.
Yeah.
Bop around Hollywood a little bit. Hollyweird.
Yeah, like the Comedy Store is like amazing. And it's just like, especially for comedy, you get polished acts when they come to Vegas.
Yeah. I wish I had time to do that while I was here, but this whole week it's wash, rinse, repeat.
Well, I'm glad you were able to squeeze me in.
Yes, thank you for having me. I really appreciate this.
Oh, no, it was absolutely. Like, I think we're at a point where you probably have to run soon.
Yeah. I got to get a spray tan and I got to go back to my hotel and sleep on it so I can feel more smut tomorrow.
Okay. We will definitely do part 2, like, because I don't want to cut this short, but I know you have a heart out.
Oh, yes.
So we're gonna call last call, as much as it pains me to do so.
Last
Richelle, where can they find you on the things?
Oh, you can find me everywhere on the things. Twitter at Richelle Ryan, Instagram only Richelle Ryan, and also both my accounts are verified, so do not get catfished. Onlyfans.com/Richelle Ryan, and that's for all the spicy stuff. Oh, and I do have TikTok, but yeah, I'm on my 7th one, so I don't even know if I want to promo it. It's Cougar Richelle Ryan. Might be deleted next week. Who knows?
In the next hour, fucking
Might be deleted in the next hour. Who knows?
Fucking TikTok.
Yeah, God. It's literally, I mean, I just have it there because there's so many fakes. And for me, it's like I get to show my silly side on there. And I don't know. I feel like it's good to have a presence on all platforms too.
I wholeheartedly agree. I have a TikTok that I barely update because every time I post content from here, they mute it. Like,
oh, really? Yeah.
it's like we're talking about stuff. There's nothing graphic here.
Yeah, I just don't have Facebook. Facebook is the only one I'm like, nope, that's it.
Well,
I don't have a personal one. I'm like, any of my family, if they want to reach out to me, they got my phone number. They can call me. But Facebook, no. I did have one, and they banned my IP address because I was posting my OnlyFans link.
Whoops.
Haters.
Whoops.
I was like, whatever. Mama's got to make some money.
Right?
I have 2 French bulldogs. They're expensive.
We will definitely do this again. This is a blast.
You.
And as always, you can find me at Matt_Slayer on Twitter, Matt Slayer on Instagram, Matt Slayer on Facebook, because I have one of those. Twitch.tv/Matt Slayer for the live streams. Patreon.com/Matt Slayer for the early content, the uncensored content, all that fun stuff. And you can find the podcast at And Now We Drink on Twitter, and Now We Drink _ on Instagram. And until next week, drink up, motherfuckers.
Cheers.